Okay, hello everybody. So this is Darren. Welcome to a tutorial on some basics on our Google Drive, how we use it at school, and I'll be getting into how I want the science team to be using the Google Classrooms this year. I've signed into my Gmail account, as you can see, so I just want to go over a few things before I get into Google Classrooms. So if we look at the side here, you should click on that and be able to see Gmail, Drive, Classroom, Calendar. As head of faculty, I have already set up a number of things for you. So let's just quickly look at the calendar that I've created. For each of your Google Classrooms, I've added a calendar for the schedule of that particular class. You see on the side here a list of the calendars. This particular one you see here is Mr. G's schedule right now. You click on your calendar, you should be able to see all your classes and your schedule. Now let's look at the Google Drive. If you're starting new, your Google Drive will be pretty empty. Right now my drive just has Classroom. This is the folder that Google creates as you create a Google Classroom. All your documents that you will upload into your Google Classroom will be in this folder. Do not delete this folder. Each classroom has its own folder within that classroom folder. Here's the shared drives. You should double check, make sure you have access to at least these three. We have whole school. Now just familiarize yourself with that. Then we have the science faculty, important things. There's assessments. We'll talk more about that as we get into assessment time. Obviously, science resources will be something you will want to look at. We've got the older resources here from 23 earlier, some archive things. So just go through that folder, look for things that you may want to use in your classes. Then we have the secondary school. Important folders within the secondary school folder would be planning documents is a big one. At the beginning of the year, this is probably the most important one to look at. Here we have the department handbooks. We've got schemes of work, find your particular class, and then so schemes of work, year plans is another big one to start off the year with. Let's go to science year plans, KS4, biology, and you should see the year plans there. Now let's get into Google Classroom. I've already shared with all of you, I've added you all to the Google Classroom. The Google Classrooms that you teach, I have shared them with you, and I think you have all joined them, added them to you. All the names are very consistent, year, name of the class, and the last part is the date, so the year, 24 to 25, so the school year. That's very important when you start teaching more than 1 year. Each of these classrooms are going to be archived, and it's best if you have a list of archived classrooms that you know exactly what year it is from. These are all the new ones, 24 to 25, and I have a few to archive of the 23-24 year. Basically, what I have done is I've added any incoming teacher that is teaching year 7 science. I have asked you to add yourself to the classroom. I've added you as a teacher. Head of science is the owner. Okay, Christopher, you're going to be teaching this. I'm still waiting for Caleb to accept the invitation, so he has access to last year's year 7 science. Now that the teachers have all joined that classroom, then I can go and archive it. Once the classroom is archived, it cannot be added to, changed in any way. You will have access to the archived classes, as well as any student that is still a student as you archive it will have access to the archived classes. If you look down here on the left side, the archived classes are all listed here. You click on archive classes, and you can click on any one of them and see what was all the classwork from that class that was added throughout the year. It's very good that students have access to this, especially for IGCSE students. If they're going into year 11, they still have access to all the materials and lessons that were done in year 10. So they have all of this information as a resource for reviewing, for preparing for their exams. Now, it's also good that all the teachers have access to that, because you can, if you're teaching this same class this year, you can access and reuse, or at least reuse parts of lessons used before. Okay, so going back to the home screen, see all this year's classes. Well, let's look at one particular Google Classroom. I'm going to be teaching 9X Science. Okay, when you first open the Google Classroom, it opens to the stream. Now we got at the top left here you see stream, classwork, people, and marks. Alright, let's look at people right now. Marks, I don't really use marks. I don't use Google Classroom for marking. You can find other tutorials and stuff about how to do that. Now for classwork and stream. Now the stream, it does say here, this is where you talk to your class. Basically use the stream to share announcements, post assignments, or respond to student questions. I don't recommend, and I do not want you to solely post assignments on the stream. You can use this for conversations, reminders, all right, if students have questions about a particular topic. For posting assignments, where I want you to post assignments is where it says classwork. The reason I don't want you posting assignments here on the stream is because if you continually post the assignments only here, and as you go throughout the year, you have the class 4 times, 2 times, 3 times a week, you're going to be posting assignments several times a week. Over the course of the year, this stream will fill up with all the assignments. For the students to be able to review and revise material, they would have to scroll down, among all the other announcements and everything. Students would have to keep scrolling and scrolling to find one particular, they want to review a particular lesson, a particular topic. They would have to scroll down 50, 100, maybe even more parts of the stream and keep scrolling to find that particular topic. So I don't want you putting the assignments solely on here. What I want you to do is go to classwork, and here is where you're going to be putting your assignments. You can add assignments and other work for the class and organize it into topics by unit, and I'll show you some examples of what I've done in the past. Alright, that was a brief introduction on basic setup of Google Classroom and our use of Google. So in our next video, I'll be showing more details and showing examples of this section of Google Classroom and how I want it to look. Alright, so see you then.